Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. Welcome to my channel Arshreelearning. Today we'll have a very fast session on painting of landscapes. If you are joining for the first time, I have live sessions every day which are open for all the people, and they are on different art aspects. I have already started the sketch because I want to finish it very fast, and you will understand how it is done. If you are joining for the first time, please subscribe the channel and don't forget to hit the notification bell on your right so that you don't miss out any update on our channel on art. So let's start quickly. I am showing you the coloring and sketching of a watercolor landscape. It is now you will not be able to see because I have made it very light. So that is the first thing which we do, that whenever we make any watercolor drawing, then the drawing should be very light so that any pencil marks are hidden, they are not visible. In fact, they should not be visible at all, otherwise you will have to cover them with anything dark. So this is a rough lining, and if I will show you in close-up, it will not be visible. So let's start. So when we start using watercolors, we start from the lighter side wherever you want to show a light shade. So I am showing light shade on this side. Now you watch that when the color is applied, we don't apply too much of color. Apply the color and then use water and then clean it and then wash it. I want this area to have blue, and the outer side I want to show white. This is the far away sky which I want to create, and on the other side there are some trees. One more tree I'll draw quickly. Here there is a tree. So this tree is in the background. So what we will do, the area of the tree which I am making, that we will leave, and the remaining area I will paint. So I have started the coloring. Here I will paint light, very light green. I will show you a tool which will help you in coloring. Now don't fill the whole thing, just make, because it is a background. So fill it with color so that the outer linings and the color is kept light. When we will wait for the color to dry, now keep some areas light. So side by side I am doing the detailing also. Now this area of the forest, it is actually a forest scene. And there are thick forests which are in far away background. So always start with light shade and then move on to a dark shade. Now what is the color range which I am using? I'll show you a tool I was telling you. So this is a color chart. This color chart I have created, and in this color chart there are different shades which are shown. They are numbered 1 to 9, and the mixture of the color gives a shade. So since I am making a landscape, the greenery I will create by this area of the chart. What is this shade and how it is created, that is all described in the color chart, which is described in the link below. So you can check the link below the video. You will get the link for a color chart. It will help you to get the desired shade. Now this is all in the background. Some areas will keep light and some areas we have to keep dark. Now this is the area between two trees. So this also has to be done with the same shade. Now dark green is the darker area of the forest, and in between I am leaving white. That is the sky which is visible through the trees. Now this white portion which you are seeing, they are the trees which are to be made. Now this is the far away branches or the trees which are shown as light, very light green, and in between the white space is the sky which is visible. So some red we will put to give a effect of the sky, the colors in the sky. Now this area of the forest will be kept like this. Moving on to the other area. So create a green which is actually the sap green, and the shade I have mentioned as I have told you in the color chart which I have shown you just now. Now there are alternate shades of yellow and green with blue in between. Where I am putting dark, along with that the other area in the surrounding of the tree will be dark. Where it is light, opposite to that we have to put light green. So we have to keep this thing in mind, that the area which is created should have contrast. Now this blue is in between, symbolizes that there is the sky visible between the trees. Now leave some areas in between white, and then shade depending upon the area. Like this portion I want to show light, so I am using light green. When it will dry, it will become light. Now towards the outer side, shade, and the lower part I want to create a ground, so I am putting light shade in the ground, in the lower side. This is towards the lower end of the drawing. So upper side is yellow, and towards the lower side I am keeping it light. So this is a background created. We will wait for this area to dry, then I'll start with the trees. Till then, now let's move on to the next part. So first apply a first tone which has to be light, wait for it to dry, then give a second coat. So this is the roof of the house which I have painted light brown. Now the shadow on the house. Now this is the shadow on the house. We will change the shade after some time. And on the other side also I want to give a shade, then we will give detail to it. This is the other part of the house where, so first start with the light shade. Now keep the first shade light, and then you can give it dark shade anytime. This is the wall of the house. Now this is the shade which I am creating, and there is a small window effect. So using the light shade I am creating the effect of a window. Now this is a far away thing, so the colors are light. Now this is still wet, we will wait for it to dry. This area has almost dried up. Now to give the color on the trees, so it will be a shade which is, now which shade I am using, you can just make that, watch that video which I have shown you, and then use that and match the color which I am creating with what I am creating now. So you will be able to make the color exactly which I am doing now. So that tool which I have shown you just now, watch that and you will be able to, it will be very helpful in deciding which shade and which colors to mix. These trees are in, they are having a red design at the bottom. Just now I'll show you. Now watch, the color use is very light. Now in the lower side there is slight orange. So this is the color which I was talking about. This is normally in a area which has got trees which are under forest protection. Then there is white and there is red. You may have seen it. So these are, this is the shade, first shade in the tree. So one there is orange, it is reddish. Then you leave white and then make the lower part of the tree which is again having the same tone. Now the creation of the ground and the shade on the ground is important. So first we will put a base color in the ground which will be very light. This area which you are seeing white, and the background there will be strokes of white. These are the shadows which I want to create. This is mixture of red. In the background also I have to create, so I will put this lining. These are the shadows which will be visible in a forest. Now when you leave the area white and then you shade this, it creates an appearance of, I'll show you in close up. Towards this side there is some blue also, so mix red and mix little bit of blue, and then don't paint everything. There is an area which will be dark, so there is a light against dark strategy which we follow in watercolors. This is first layer applied, and then in between I'll put a shade of dark. Now here just spread the color and just wipe the color. Apply the color and spread it. So the lower area will have less detail, more of wash colors. So I am leaving some shades of white in between. This is very less use of color you have to do. And towards the lower side the shade will be dark. Use of red and blue, it will create an effect of these linings which you are seeing, that is actually the stroke which I want to create an effect of shadow in the ground. Now on this side the shading will be light. First apply one layer. Now some areas I am leaving white. The first layer on the tree I have applied. Now left side trees are left, so let's do that. There are two branched trees which are shown here. Apply red. This is that color which is done on the trees. Then leave white above it and then put red. And the front tree which you are seeing in this, the shade will have slightly dark tone. Towards the lower side, the shade will go with a slight curve. Leave some white on the right side of the tree. And the same type of shade will come on the top of this tree also. So first layer, let's apply a light shade. Towards the edge, the color you can leave white. Like this. Now I can give a dark shade anytime. First layer I have applied. Towards one side. So when I apply first layer, it is wet. Over this side by side, I will apply dark. So what will happen? The shade will become dark. From the top, in this also, the shade will be light somewhere, and in the lower side I am making it dark to show that there is a shadow of branches. So there is not too much of red used in this because these are in the background. Okay, now this area we'll wait for it to dry. Now this lower area is already slightly dried, so we'll give it some detail. There is a shade and this shade will be shown spreading out. So watercolors are very easy. People think that watercolors are not important, but if you want to paint anything means you want to practice use of acrylics, then first I suggest that you must know watercolors properly. If you are very good at watercolors, then you will have no problem in using any other medium, whether it is oil, whether it is acrylic, even if it is digital. because the main mixture and the color combination you will be able to do when you know watercolors. So watercolors are considered less important, but they are important. So if person has got a command over watercolors, he will have no problem in any other medium. So if you want to understand, then stay connected with us. We have watercolor sessions every week. Now let's quickly move on to the house and let's finish it. This is the end of the roof, edge of the roof. So this is dark. So towards the lower side, I'll give a shade to show that it is in darkness. Same on the other side. Now I will show you in close up. So when we do this shade, this blue which I did first looks like there is a shadow of this roof. Now the top of the house is having a roof which is having uneven surface. So that has to be done carefully. So just gently make dots. Towards the center the color will be dark. Towards the outside the color will be, toward this end of the house the shading will be kept dark, and the detailing which I am doing, that will be far away towards this end. Now there is contrast use of colors. The house is in the background. So create, there is a door, there is a window here, and it is in the background of the tree. So this is the house which I have created. Now there are some leaves and bushes here which have to be created, and in the background there is a shadow on the ground. So this same color which we used here, that will be used to give a effect, and here there will be use of yes, dark green, and some areas with very thin lines just to show an effect in the foreground. Now there is a small opening here. So first I will create a one layer I'll wait for it to dry. Now what are these which I am doing? That is the shadow of the tree branches on the house. So when it will dry, it will give the appearance of a shadow. Now just put a dark tone in the lower side of the house and it will give effect of darkness. See, when I do this, then it creates an effect of that it is far away. So major part of the drawing I have done. Now just how the trees and their edges I have to give highlight. These are the details in the tree which are actually the shadows of the branches and other things. This helps us to give detail to the tree. So you will not put the whole thing black. Some areas you will put. So you get it that the color use is very less. Here there is white, so I have not done any color here. I have left it, and in the upper part there is some shade of black, and this shade is in some areas. When I do it and make some lines in the tree, it will give an appearance of that there is a reflection of branches. Now spread and just give little bit of dots. It is enough to give appearance of trees. This gives height to the tree, and the same thing I'll do here. This is actually the detail, and the detailing is not too much. From the outer side you have to make, and the inner side just put some dots and some linings on the tree from the outside, somewhere on the outside. Like this. And here also use a thin brush and just move and create some dots. We will give a second effect here in this part. Now the color use is very less, and the shading of dark is just on the edges and near the end. So this gives a shade of the shadow of the tree on the ground. You are seeing, so just 2-3 lines, and it is enough to give a effect of shadow of tree on the ground. So this is actually brown, blue and black which I am using. Like this. Now the lower part of the house and the background has been done. We will quickly do the upper part of the house. In the upper part there will be some detail, but the detail will not be too much because the trees will not be shown. All the trees and their branches are not shown because they are tall trees. So just an effect of some dry leaves and some branches will be shown because the branches are higher above. Here I want to show that there is a tree which is going up. So use thin brush and just create very fine linings to show that this is a far away tree. When it will dry, then I'll add some greenery and the green effect on the background. Like this. Here let's add some small trees and branches. There is one thin dry tree in the background. and towards the outside just put a detail of some small branches. So not too much dark, just an effect has to be shown. This is just a detail of something in the background and something in the foreground. This is the foreground. So here there are some bushes. So they will be shown with very thin linings. Now wherever there is a dark one, there I am putting a shade of that there are some bushes in the nearby. Now this is a shadow of this tree which is falling on the ground. This is another one. Now if you see from far away, it looks it is almost done. But I want to give some more effect so that these trees which I have created here, they some thin branches. These are some of the dry branches, and they you can call them as to give a depth to the drawing. Meaning I want to show that the part which I am doing now is far away. So to do this, these are some of the highlighting objects which we create. This is the daytime scene. So to show that there is a shadow on the ground, keep everything light and somewhere you put dark. So when you do this, it gives an appearance of that there is light. Like this part I want to show. Now where I have done a dark shading, just put some small strokes. So this will give it a height as well as some depth. Now let's quickly complete it. The drawing is almost done. Here let's make some dry and thin branches at the top. In this area, so use thin brush and make very thin linings, and use light shade. They have to be starting from there, and then we have to move from the top. Toward this side I will make it light, but from here and on this side let's add some more. Keep the color very light. These are some of the trees which are in the background. So their branches are, they will give an appearance of the branches, and it will give again the appearance of that the thing is far away. So towards the top the shade will be dark because it is having a shadow of the leaves. Towards the lower side it will be now all the shades will be different. So hope you have understood the concept. So try out this drawing. I will show you in close up. Now see, when you create this, then it gives a height to the drawing. Here I can add some more. And the drawing is complete. So hope you have enjoyed the session. This is the lower part, the shadow of the tree is in the background. So join us in the next session and try out this drawing, and if you have liked the video in the session, please give a like to this and subscribe the channel if you have still not subscribed. Till we meet in the next session, goodbye and take care.